How is that unclear, I say? That question was as direct as they come. The overseer says nothing, he just continues to hover over the ground in silence. You're not going to get anything else out of him, Brennan says. He's just going to keep repeating question unclear until you give up. If the standard phrase that he always uses when he doesn't want to answer someone's question. So that's how it is then, I say. Does anyone else have any question for the overseer? Brennan says. I don't know if there is any use interrogating him further, Kate says. It seems to me that he already told us all the information he had regarding the King of Olinda's weakness. I think so too, Brennan says. Maybe we should get ready to head back then. Alright. Overseer, that will be all for today. Have a safe trip. Goodbye, Brennan, the overseer says, and then the metal ball flies into the air once again in order to continue his patrol. Let's go this way, Brennan says, when he heads back to the way we came. So can we know for sure that anything the overseer told us is true, I say, so as we're all moving towards the exit? Not yet, but we should be able to easily verify all this information, Brennan says. As soon as we get back to our base, we can start by... Brennan suddenly interrupts himself because right before we reach the end of the alley, 3 men dressed in rag place themselves in front of us while holding daggers in their hands. 2 of them had very scared looks in their eyes and are shaking with fear, but even so, they don't seem like they're planning to step aside. Listen, I don't know who sent you here, but we don't mean to hurt you, Brennan tells the 3 men. Please get out of the way. We can't, says one of the men in the trembling voice. The man in the black robes told us that we need to make sure you don't leave the alley. He said kill our families if we don't listen to him. We can't let you pass. You don't have to do this, Brennan says as he tried to slowly approach them. Come with us, we'll shelter you and your families in the underground tunnels below the city. Stay with the rebels, I can keep them safe. Stay back, the man with the trembling voice says. He swings his dagger toward Brennan. Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. We don't have time for this, Kate says. She then conjures several tall bars of ice between us and the man in rags in order to block them from reaching us. What are you doing? Brennan says. Now they have us right where they want us. No, they don't, Kate says as she now conjures a rice platform right below our feet. If we can't get past them, we'll just fly over them. Before the ice platform even has a chance to raise up from the ground, both the ice bars and the platform suddenly disappear. Kate presses her hand against her forehead, apparently trying to suppress a severe headache. What happened? I ask her. I don't know, Kate says as she's keeping her eyes closed, still trying to get rid of her headache. I can't concentrate, barely able to form sentences. She's been hit with a really powerful dizziness spell, Minato says. It blew right past her magical protection. I don't get it. There are no mages in the vicinity who could have cast this spell. It must be someone using a Lasethi device, Brennan says. Maybe even a royal guard. Not all of them are mages. If they're not mages, then I have no way of distinguishing them from every other civilian around the area, Melinda says. We shouldn't have let our guard down. I'm taking us out of here. She then begins to lift us all into the air very slowly, but one of the men in the rags starts running towards us and he tries to attack Melindra. No, I won't let you get away, the man says, but he's intercepted by Byron, who puts his sword out and clashes with him. At the same time, the other 2 men also run towards us. Melinda and I are forced to pull out our weapons and engage with them. I can't focus on lifting you if you're all fighting, Melinda says as we are all being lowered back to the ground. Finish your fight quickly so we can get out of here. When Munira was talking, 3 more men were entering the alley from the other side. It seems that they're not trying to flank us. It looks like I can't afford to hesitate anymore. I need to decide what to do with these men quick. Aim to incapacitate without killing anyone. Kill only if necessary. Kill everyone who attacks me. Yep, that's how the way it goes, because we have tried the pacifist route and that didn't end well when we had a stat device. Right now we'll just kill everyone. Just from a glance, I can tell that these men have never held a blade before in their life. Even without my stats, I should be able to deal with them easily. I waste no time and I use my dagger to stab the man in front of me in the lower side of the abdomen. I kick him in the stomach and make him fall on his back as I quickly pull the crossbow out of my back and shoot all the men behind me in their head, killing them in a matter of seconds. Just as the 3 men who are trying to flank us are falling to the ground, the man I stabbed earlier recovers much faster than I anticipated. He immediately dashes at me with his knife held firmly in his hand. Luckily, I react fast enough and use my crossbow to fire a bolt straight into the man's chest. Upon getting shot, my attacker drops his dagger. He tries to pull the crossbow bolt out with his bare hands, but he quickly loses his strength from both his arms and legs, and he falls flat on the ground. After failing to get back up a few more times, the man in the rack finally stops moving and slowly succumbs to his death. As I look around, I see that both Brain and Layla have managed to knock out their adversaries and they're now approaching me. We need to get out of here before anyone else tries to attack us, Brennan says. I don't want any more innocent lives to be lost today. Father, we hear the voice of a 10-year-old boy as he's now entering the alley. When he sees the dead man lying at the feet, the boy rushes towards him as fast as he can, and then he places himself on his knees beside him and trying to wake him up. No, the boy says as he sees lifeless gaze in his father's eyes. No, 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 you can't be dead. You said everything would be fine. You said you'd be going back home together with after all this was over. Please tell me that you're just sleeping, please. The boy then grips his father's shirt tightly with both his hands as he's trying very hard to hold back his tears. Let's go, Brennan tells. There's nothing that we can do here. You, the boy says, just as we are about to move past. You did this. When I turned my head back towards him, see, the boy is now directly looking into me, eyes with a pained but determined look on his face, and as he keeps staring at me, I suddenly realize that I'm still holding the crossbow that I fired the bolt with is now lodged in fired the bolt which is lodged in his father's chest. I will never forgive you, the boy says while gripping the clothes of the dead body in front of him even harder than before. If this was a saga of Tanya the Evil, yep, that boy would not live. But okay. I still don't regret killing them. They attacked us even harder than before. He then says the same words in a much louder voice as the look on his eyes now turns into one of full hatred. I will never forgive you, the boy shouts. This way, Brennan tells us when he sees that I've stopped moving. I take one last look at the boy, then I'll follow Brennan out of the alley without turning back. When we exit the alley, I catch a glimpse of a woman right outside covering her eyes with one of her hands while tears are slowly running down her face. Quickly realize that she must be the wife of the man I just killed. We all walk right past her without saying a word, and we begin heading back towards the place where we first got teleported. That was an unusual interaction. We have to find a place where we can calm down so we can teleport back to our base. Brennan says as we are now quickly moving through a large empty street with many alley entrances on its sides. From now, let's try to get as far away from here as possible. We still can't figure out who cast the dizziness spell on Kate, Melinda says. As long as it's still around, we're not safe. I think I might have fucked up actually. I mean, I'm still not against the killing idea. The point is, I think someone did that on purpose to get the idea of, look at the rebels are actually horrible people, look, they kill people or something like that. Maybe? We don't need to be safe, Brennan says. We just need to be calm enough for the teleporter to be able to lock onto our auras. Okay, Melinda says, in that case I could try to fly us all away from here so we can. No, we can't risk flying, Brennan says. The metal boss patrolling the sky will begin to attack us. As soon as they do that, their orders are to prioritize aerial targets above all else. Well, we can't risk a fight with the guards either, Melinda says. Kid is still unable to concentrate on his spells. I can't attack any of the locals. Barry's side device is not working. Do you seriously think that you and Layla will be able to hold off the royal guards all by yourself? As long as we can get far enough away from here, and then there will be no need for a fight. Brennan says we just need to reach the end of the street that we can. Watch out, Melinda shouts. Then she quickly pulls Brennan back with both her hands. There's a sudden blast of fire coming from one of the alleys on the side of the street. Then the whole area in front of us gets immediately engulfed in flames. The large wall of fire that now blocks our path is apparently only inches away from Brennan's face. Had Melinda not pulled him away in time, he would have likely been completely incinerated. You missed, I hear a man's voice as he's making his way out of the alley behind us. I can't believe you actually missed. Could you not wait for another second until you cast that spell? It's not my damn fault, I hear another man's voice coming from the alley where the wall of fire originated from. That wench stopped him right before they were about to enter my line of sight. Doesn't matter though, they've got a huge wall of fire in front of them. They are not going anywhere. I told you both that engaging them by ourselves would be a stupid idea, says another man, who's apparently situated on the rooftop of a weirdly shaped building on the side of the street. We are only trainees. We should have waited for the real royal guards to come here and back us up. That's why you'll always remain a trainee, Derek, the first man says. You're never going to become a full-time royal guard if you keep waiting for the captain to come and clean up your mess. The three men get close enough for us to see what they look like. I realize that they're all wearing the same type of blue-colored uniform on Gontork, and the other royal uniform as Gontok and the other royal guards, except for the fact that their uniform have much fewer markings on them, likely as a result of being only trainees. Each one of them is holding a different weapon in their hand, and each of their weapons has a different colored gem embedded into the hilt. The man behind us has a trident with a brown topaz embedded into it, and the man on the rooftop is holding a sword with a diamond in its hilt. With a diamond in it, like is it an actual diamond or is it like a shape of diamond? Or whatever. And the man who made the wall of fire is wearing a metal glove decorated with a ruby. It doesn't take me long to realize that their artifacts are in fact Lessethi made artifacts, and that these the kinds of tools they're using to cast all these spells. None of them are mages, Melinda tells us in a low voice, but the three men are still talking amongst themselves. I could sense their auras from afar, but I had no idea that they were Royal Guard trainees. Kate, can you fight? I don't know, Kate says. She's still struggling to get rid of the headache, but I'll have to try.